Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
Yep.
This time, we're going deep into the heart of India.
Into its forests.
Exactly right.
Yes.
We're talking all about the India State of Forest Report 2023.
Yeah, this report is really hot off the press.
It really is.
Fresh insights.
And it's packed with fascinating information about this absolutely vital resource.
It really is. You know, I think what's really interesting about this is it goes way beyond just like pictures.
Right.
We're really understanding the ecological and economic and even cultural significance of forests.
Yeah, it really is like peeking behind the curtain to see how these forests are just woven into the fabric of India in so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's zoom out for a second before we get lost in the details.
Okay.
Let's look at the big picture.
The big picture.
Forest cover.
Forest cover. Yeah. Well, the headline is incredibly positive.
Okay.
India is actually bucking the global trend of deforestation.
Yeah.
The report shows that forest and tree cover are on the rise.
Really?
We're talking an increase of over 1,400 square kilometers since the last assessment.
That's amazing.
That's like adding a whole new forest the size of Delhi.
That is a lot of green.
It is a lot of green.
I'm curious, though. Is this growth happening evenly across the country?
That's a great question, and not exactly.
Okay.
The report highlights states like Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and Odisha as real champions of forest cover increase.
Okay.
They've been implementing some really effective afforestation programs, and they're engaging local communities in conservation efforts.
That's great to hear.
It is really good news.
It is, but it wouldn't be a true deep dive if there wasn't some complexity.
True.
So are there areas where forest cover is shrinking?
Well, unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
The report does show that states like Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka have seen significant decreases in forest cover.
Oh, wow.
It's a very complex issue.
Right.
Likely driven by a lot of factors.
Yeah.
You know, from agricultural expansion to infrastructure projects and things like that.
It really does highlight that balance between development and conservation.
It does.
You know what's interesting to me about this report, though?
Yeah.
It doesn't just focus on, like, officially recorded forest areas.
Right, right.
It actually takes a much broader view.
A much broader view, and that's what I think is really fascinating about this one.
Yeah.
This report, for the first time, includes data on forest cover outside those officially designated zones.
Okay.
So think about it like patches of trees on private land, maybe along roadsides, or even in urban areas.
Right.
You know, they all contribute to this overall picture.
Such a cool shift in perspective.
This is a cool shift.
Makes you wonder how much forest cover may have been overlooked in the past.
Yeah, it really does.
And speaking of a wider view, this report also expands its scope geographically, too.
Yes. Geographically, this is the first time the report covers a whopping 751 districts.
Wow.
Up from 636 in previous assessments.
That's a huge...
It's a big jump.
Yeah.
This level of detail is amazing because it allows for much more targeted and localized conservation efforts.
Absolutely. It's like we have a much sharper lens now to focus in on these specific areas.
Exactly.
Understand their needs.
Yeah.
But the report doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't.
It takes us on this journey through some of India's most ecologically sensitive regions.
It does.
The hill districts.
The hill districts.
The tribal districts.
Yes.
And the breathtaking Western Ghats.
It's really like a virtual expedition, you know,
It is.
through this diverse tapestry of ecosystems.
They're cool.
Think about the hill districts, for instance. The report shows that a staggering 40% of their total area is under forest cover.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of biodiversity we're talking about.
Yeah, and then you have the Western Ghats, a global biodiversity hotspot.
Yes.
The report provides a really detailed breakdown of forest cover in each district of this region, which I'm assuming is crucial for planning effective conservation strategies.
It is, absolutely.
Why focus on these specific areas, though?
Yeah, that's a great question. And
What makes them so important?
you know, I think it really reflects a growing awareness of the need to safeguard these fragile ecosystems.
Right.
Protecting them isn't just about preserving beauty. It's about maintaining that delicate ecological balance that ultimately sustains us all.
It's like recognizing the interconnectedness of everything.
It is.
Right? Now let's dive a little bit deeper into the forest itself.
Okay.
The report introduces us to the National Forest Inventory, or NFI for short.
The NFI.
Which goes beyond just mapping the area
Yeah.
and delves into the richness and composition of these forests.
It does picture this. You have these researchers trekking through these diverse landscapes, meticulously collecting data.
Yeah.
3 species, their growth rates.
Okay.
Bamboo resources, carbon storage.
Wow.
So much more.
It really is like creating a detailed inventory of all the forest's treasures.
It is. It's like getting a backstage pass
Yeah.
to the inner workings of the forest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of unique ecosystems, the report shines a light on a particularly fascinating mangrove forests.
Mangrove forests. Yes.
These coastal heroes.
Coastal heroes love that.
I know, right?
I love that.
They play such a vital role in protecting our shorelines and nurturing that incredible biodiversity.
Absolutely. And India boasts almost 5,000 square kilometers of mangrove cover.
That's amazing.
It is. But the report reveals a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to their health.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
Well, there are some concerning decreases in mangrove cover, particularly in Gujarat.
Okay.
But on a positive note, states like Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra are showing some promising increases.
Okay, so kind of a delicate dance between those conservation efforts.
It is.
And the pressures of development.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really highlights the need for that continued focus. And investment in protecting these ecosystems.
Yes, definitely.
Let's shift gears for a minute.
All right.
Let's talk about climate change.
All right.
Big topic.
Big topic.
Making headlines globally.
It is.
What does the report tell us about the role of India's forests in combating this challenge?
This is where the data gets really exciting,
Okay.
Think of forests like giant sponges soaking up carbon dioxide from the atmosphere.
Okay.
The report reveals that India's forests are becoming even better at doing this.
Wow.
They've removed billions of tons of CO2 from the atmosphere.
That's amazing.
Making a significant contribution to the fight against climate change.
Wow. It's like these forests are unsung heroes in this battle against global warming.
They are unsung heroes.
Right.
Yeah.
It really underscores the importance of protecting and managing them sustainably.
It does.
Speaking of sustainability, let's talk about a concept that kind of merges trees and agriculture beautifully.
Yeah.
Agroforestry.
Agroforestry. I love this concept.
I know, me too. The report dives into this fascinating practice and its growing popularity in India.
Yeah. Agroforestry is a brilliant example of a win-win solution.
It really is.
It's about integrating trees with those agricultural practices, which can enhance land productivity, improve livelihoods for farmers, and boost their incomes.
It's like a perfect marriage between nature and human ingenuity.
It really is a beautiful marriage.
Yeah.
It is.
And the report even gives a shout out to Maharashtra for leading the way in the number of trees under agroforestry systems.
They are leading the way. It's really inspiring to see.
It is.
Such innovative approaches being implemented.
Makes you wonder how agroforestry can be applied in different regions to create more sustainable and resilient agricultural systems.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely a concept worth exploring further.
It is.
And that's where we'll leave it for now, but don't go anywhere.
Yeah, stay tuned.
We're just getting started.
More to come.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we delve even deeper into the report and explore some of the challenges and solutions facing India's forests.
Looking forward to it.
Me too.
All right. Welcome back to our deep dive into the India State of Forest Report 2023.
Back for more.
In this part, we're going to shift gears a bit.
Yeah.
We're going to explore some of the challenges and the threats facing India's forests.
All right, the not-so-good stuff.
Yeah, well, it's like the saying goes,
Yeah.
sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Okay.
So by shedding light on these issues, we can understand what needs to be done to protect these incredible ecosystems.
Right. It's about being proactive and addressing these challenges head-on.
Exactly.
So what are some of the key concerns highlighted in the report?
Well, one of the most pressing issues is forest degradation.
Okay.
The report reveals that a significant portion of India's forests are experiencing a decline in their overall quality and health.
Oh, wow.
Even if their total area remains relatively stable.
Forest degradation. That sounds serious.
It is.
Can you break it down for us a little bit?
Sure.
What exactly does that mean for a forest?
Think of it like, imagine a forest that's slowly losing its vitality.
Okay.
So the trees might still be standing, but they're not as healthy or productive as they once were.
Right.
The soil might be eroding, the undergrowth might be thinning out.
Yeah.
and that overall biodiversity might be declining.
So it's not just about losing trees altogether.
It's not just about the numbers.
It's about the forest's ability to thrive.
Exactly.
And provide those essential services that we rely on.
Absolutely. And the report points to several factors that contribute to this forest degradation, including overgrazing by livestock, illegal logging, encroachment by human settlements.
So it's a reminder that our actions have a ripple effect on the health of these ecosystems.
They do. Our actions have consequences.
Yeah, it really underscores the need for sustainable practices and responsible management.
Definitely.
It's not just human activities that are putting pressure on India's forests, though.
Yeah.
The report also highlights the looming threat of climate change.
Yes. Climate change is a big one.
Yeah.
Rising temperatures, changing rainfall patterns.
Right.
And the increasing frequency of extreme weather events, like droughts and floods, are all taking a toll.
It's like a global challenge, but playing out on such a local scale.
It is, and we're seeing these shifts in species distribution, forests becoming more vulnerable to pests and diseases.
Right.
Even changes in the way wildfires behave.
Yeah, and it's not just the trees themselves that are impacted.
No, it's not.
It's that entire web of life within these forests.
It is the plants, the animals, the microorganisms, everything that depends on a stable and predictable environment.
Right. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue.
Yeah.
It's a threat to the very foundation of life on Earth.
I agree.
Speaking of threats, the report dedicates a whole chapter to the issue of forest fires.
Forest fire is a very timely topic.
It is.
Especially with these increasingly intense and devastating wildfires we're seeing around the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
The report provides a really comprehensive overview of this complex issue, diving into the causes of forest fires, the methods used to detect and monitor them, and the strategies for prevention and mitigation.
What struck me was the emphasis on that human factor.
Yeah.
You know, the report states that the vast majority of forest fires in India are caused by human activities, either intentional or accidental.
It's true. It is a sobering reminder.
It is.
That we have this responsibility to act as stewards of these forests.
Yeah.
You know, we need to be more aware of our actions.
Right.
Promote those responsible forest management practices, and really engage local communities in those fire prevention efforts.
Absolutely. It's not all doom and gloom, though.
It's not.
The report also offers some really insightful solutions.
It does.
And strategies for addressing these challenges.
There's hope.
Right. It's like finding a glimmer of hope amidst all this complexity.
Exactly.
So what are some of the key takeaways in terms of solutions?
Well, one of the most promising areas is the use of technology.
Wow.
The report highlights how advancements in satellite imagery, remote sensing, and geographic information systems, or GIS, are really revolutionizing our ability to monitor and manage forests.
It's like having a high-tech toolkit for forest conservation.
It is a high-tech toolkit.
Right.
We can now track those changes in forest cover. We can identify areas at risk.
Right.
We can even predict future trends with incredible accuracy.
That's amazing.
And this information is crucial for planning those effective conservation strategies.
Absolutely. But technology alone can't solve everything.
No, it can't.
The report also emphasizes that vital role of community participation in forest conservation.
I completely agree. Local communities have a deep understanding of their forests
and
a strong stake in their well-being.
Right.
Engaging them in these conservation efforts is not only ethical, it's also incredibly effective.
And the report showcases some amazing examples
It does.
of these community-based forest management initiatives.
It does.
Where local people are actively involved in protecting and restoring their forests.
It's great to see that.
It's inspiring to see that traditional knowledge being blended with modern scientific approaches.
Absolutely, a perfect blend.
Right. It's proof that we can achieve so much more when we work together.
We can.
But there's also a need to think more broadly about forest management.
Yes.
The report advocates for a more integrated approach.
A more holistic approach.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
It means moving beyond that siloed thinking.
Okay.
And recognizing that forests are interconnected with other sectors, like agriculture, water resources, climate change mitigation.
It's about understanding the bigger picture and seeing how forests play a vital role in sustaining life.
Exactly. It's all connected.
As a whole.
Yes.
The report calls for greater collaboration among government agencies, research institutions, civil society organizations.
It's about working together.
It is.
To create a more sustainable future for India's forests.
it doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't.
The report dives into specific actions that can be taken to protect and restore these valuable ecosystems.
Actionable steps.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Well, it highlights the importance of promoting sustainable forestry practices. Things like responsible harvesting, reforestation, minimizing the impact of logging operations.
Right.
There's also a strong emphasis on strengthening law enforcement to combat illegal logging and encroachment.
So it's about setting those clear boundaries.
It is.
Protecting these forests from exploitation.
Absolutely.
The report also stresses the need for continued investment in research and development.
Yes.
To deepen our understanding of these forest ecosystems.
Knowledge is power.
Right, especially when it comes to conservation.
Especially when it comes to conservation.
But it's not enough to just gather information.
No.
We need to act on it. The report emphasizes the importance of continuous monitoring and assessment of forest health.
It's like giving these forests regular checkups.
I like that.
To make sure they're thriving.
Right.
And we need to use this data to inform our policy decisions.
Yeah.
Guide our conservation efforts.
It's about making sure our actions are based on sound science and a deep understanding of these complex ecosystems.
Absolutely data-driven decisions.
But amidst all this data and analysis, the report also manages to capture the essence of what makes India's forests so special.
It does. It reminds us that these forests aren't just statistics or data points on a map.
Yeah.
They're living, breathing ecosystems that support an incredible array of life.
It's true.
You know, they provide us with clean air, fresh water, a sense of wonder, and connection to nature.
And that's so important these days.
It is.
Protecting them is not just a responsibility.
Yeah.
It's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
Beautifully said. We'll wrap up part 2 of our deep dive here.
Okay.
But there's still more to explore.
Yes, there is.
Stay tuned for part 3.
Part 3.
Where we'll discuss what this report means for you, the listener.
Yes.
And how you can get involved in protecting these vital ecosystems.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back, deep divers. We've journeyed through this fascinating world of India's forests.
We have.
From their remarkable growth to the challenges they face. But now let's bring it all home.
Yeah.
What does this report really mean for you, the listener?
Well, I think it's a powerful invitation to connect with nature, to appreciate the forests that surround us, whether it's a vast national park or even just a small cluster of trees in your neighborhood.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life and forget about that vital role that forests play in our well-being.
Absolutely.
They provide us with clean air to breathe, fresh water to drink, and a sense of peace and tranquility that's so essential in today's world.
It really is. And what I think is fascinating is the report's findings underscore the power of individual actions.
Okay.
Every choice we make, from the products we buy to how we manage our own land, can have a ripple effect on forest health.
It's about being mindful consumers.
It is.
Supporting businesses that prioritize those sustainable forestry practices and just taking steps to reduce our own environmental footprint.
Absolutely. And imagine the impact if each of us planted a tree on our property or explored, the benefits of agroforestry in our gardens.
Yeah.
Even those small actions multiplied across millions of people can contribute to a larger movement for forest conservation.
It's like a collective effort.
It is.
A shared responsibility to protect these invaluable ecosystems.
It is a shared responsibility. And speaking of collective action, the report highlights the importance of civic engagement.
Okay, so how can we do that?
Well, staying informed about those forest-related issues in your region, supporting organizations that are working to protect forests.
Right.
Your voice matters. Engaging with local representatives, advocating for policies that promote sustainable forest management, and holding decision makers accountable for their actions. All of these things make a difference.
It's about using our voices to amplify that message of forest conservation.
It is. And you know what else I think is powerful?
What's that?
Sharing our knowledge with others.
Okay.
Talking to friends and family about the importance of forests. Educating the next generation about the value of these ecosystems. It all adds up.
It really does. And this report itself is a great tool for learning.
It is a fantastic tool.
It's available online.
Yes, it is.
And we encourage everyone to explore it further.
Yeah, please do.
Share it with your networks.
Share it.
Spark conversations about it.
Yes, let's create that ripple effect of awareness and action.
Absolutely. As we wrap up this deep dive into the India State of Forest Report 2023, we want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
India's forests are a national treasure,
They are.
a legacy we inherit,
Yes,
and responsibility we share.
we do.
Let's all commit to being stewards of these forests, protecting their beauty, their biodiversity, and that vital role they play in sustaining life on Earth.
Very well said. And thanks to UPSC Deep Dive for providing us with such valuable information.
And a huge thanks to you, our listeners, for joining us on this incredible journey.
Yes, thank you.
Don't forget to share this episode with your friends and subscribe to the UPSC Deep Dive channel for more fascinating deep dives into topics that matter. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.